Hey there, and welcome back. Today we're talking about something that affects nearly every American in one way or another: Social Security. Whether you're collecting benefits right now, expecting them soon, or just planning ahead, what's happening in 2025 under President Trump's new term might directly impact you or someone you love. And here's something you might not have heard yet. Just within the first 100 days of Trump's second term, the Social Security Administration has changed more than it has in decades. And these aren't small tweaks. We're talking about sweeping reforms led by a new government group called DOGE, with Elon Musk playing a big role behind the scenes. Depending on who you ask, these changes are either long overdue improvements or a dangerous step toward weakening a program that 70 million people rely on every month. So if you've been wondering what's really going on, what it means for your benefits, and whether your future income is safe, stick around. This is one of those things you'll want to be informed about. Let me know in the comments if you or someone you know has already noticed changes with Social Security this year. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you find this kind of clear and honest explanation helpful, consider subscribing for more. So then, let's talk about what's actually changed. The most noticeable shift started with leadership. Trump brought in a team focused on what they call government efficiency, and they partnered with DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. It's a new federal force created to root out what they see as waste. The name sounds light, but the impact has been anything but. Now, this group, backed in part by Elon Musk, pushed for major changes right away. One of the first things they did was modernize how Social Security runs its daily operations. That included using artificial intelligence in call centers, launching a system called PI that automates how your job reports income to the SSA, and upgrading their hearing and appeal system with new software that records and transcribes disability hearings. These updates were framed as improvements. For example, the SSA says these upgrades will save around $1 billion in costs and speed up decisions on disability claims. They've even paid out nearly $15 billion in retroactive benefits under a new law called the Social Security Fairness Act. But here's the thing. While some of these moves sound like wins, they've also come with real concerns. And that's where this gets personal for a lot of people. One of the biggest fears we've seen come up recently is about privacy. There was actually a court ruling that stopped DOGE engineers from accessing sensitive Social Security data, like your bank info or medical records. And why? Because some of them didn't have the proper security clearance. And if you're wondering if that's rare, yes, it is. Normally, that level of access is tightly controlled. So when the court stepped in, it raised red flags. Critics say it's not just about data safety. It's about whether this new outside agency has too much power too fast. Also, a lot of folks are worried about staffing. Since January, over 3,000 SSA employees have retired or left, and about 2,000 more were moved into frontline roles. Supporters say that's a smart move. Get more people helping the public face-to-face. But what we're hearing from inside the SSA is that these cuts are hurting the quality of service. You see, field offices are now appointment only in many places. But people are still walking and needing help, especially seniors. That means long lines, frustration, and less time for each person. One worker even said they only get 10 minutes per visitor now. That's not enough when someone's trying to fix a serious issue with their benefits or prove they're not considered dead. And yes, that's another issue. There have been more reports lately of people being wrongly marked as deceased. Imagine logging into your bank and finding your direct deposit gone because the SSA thought you were no longer living. It sounds crazy, but it's happened. The agency says it has a process to fix it, but when something that important goes wrong, trust is hard to win back. Now let's talk about the money side. One of the biggest proposals Trump made during his campaign was to eliminate taxes on Social Security benefits. For retirees, this sounds great. It means more money in your pocket and less going back to the government. But policy experts are warning that this move could actually hurt the system in the long run. Here's why. Social Security already faces a serious funding shortfall. If nothing changes, the trust fund that helps pay out benefits will be depleted by 2034. After that, it could only pay about 79% of what it owes. cutting taxes on benefits means less money going into the system, which speeds up the shortfall. Some people, including former SSA Commissioner Martin O'Malley, are suggesting another fix: remove the income cap. Right now, people only pay Social Security taxes on the first $176,100 of their income. That means a billionaire stops paying into the system early in the year, while everyone else keeps contributing all year long. O'Malley points out that if we taxed all income, not just the first chunk, we could raise over $3 trillion over the next decade. That's more than enough to keep the system solvent. But that idea hasn't gained traction in the current administration. Instead, Trump's team is floating another idea: optional private investment accounts. Basically, letting people invest part of their Social Security contributions in the stock market. Some folks love the idea of more control over their money. Others worry that it turns a guaranteed benefit into a gamble. After all, what happens if the market tanks just before you retire? And next, there's a growing concern about how misinformation is being used to justify changes. For example, one official suggested that only scammers would complain if checks stopped going out for a month. That's a pretty wild thing to say, considering many Americans rely on those payments to pay for rent, food, and medicine. Another claim that stirred up trouble was Musk's statement that millions of dead people were still getting Social Security checks. It's a bold claim, but the SSA came out and said that while some records do lack death dates, those people weren't actually being paid. Still, even rumors like that can damage public trust. So then, what does this all mean for you? Well, if you're receiving benefits, it means staying extra aware. Watch your payments, double-check your status, and if anything seems off, like a delay or a missing deposit, report it immediately. If you're still working, these changes might shape the kind of retirement system you'll be dealing with later. Whether it's the PI system affecting how your wages are reported, or the idea of investing your own funds, this isn't just about seniors. It's about the next generation of retirees too. And besides, even if you think this doesn't affect you right now, think about your parents, grandparents, or neighbors. When a system this big goes through a shift, it tends to ripple out and touch more people than we expect. Just pausing for a moment to share something important with you. We've partnered with Chapter, a service we feel confident recommending for clear, honest Medicare help. They'll connect you with a licensed advisor, compare every Medicare plan in your area, and help you save money. Most people save around $1,100 a year. It's free, and their care advocate team is there to support you even after you're signed up. Call 615-639-1937 or visit askchapter.org/money using the link in the comments below. Let's keep going. So what can you do? First, stay informed. Don't just read the headlines. Ask questions. Understand what's being proposed and how it could impact your future income. Second, if you're worried about the long-term future of Social Security, consider building other safety nets. That could mean putting more into a retirement account, starting a side income stream, or simply setting up a monthly budget so you're more flexible if things change. And third, speak up. If something doesn't feel right, write to your local representative. Share your story. The more feedback they get from people actually experiencing the effects, the harder it is for them to ignore it. Hey, if you've had a strange experience with Social Security this year, like a delayed payment, a strange letter, or even a good experience with one of the new systems, let me know in the comments. I always read through those and respond when I can, and your story might help someone else going through the same thing. Also, if you found this helpful, go ahead and subscribe. I talk about topics like this all the time, and my goal is always to make things clearer, not more confusing. Thanks for spending time with me today. I'll see you in the next one.